Hi, I'm Antonio Lamons, the Passion Czar. Passion is the fuel that drives innovation, creativity, and love. It's essential to our happiness. Sadly, only 20% of people are actually living their passion. Well, I'm passionate about putting an end to that. Welcome to Passion in Action. Established in 1999, Dean grew out of a need for a cuff and the passion of his founder into a unique and thriving Los Angeles-based business. Located in Sunset Junction, the Leather Boutique is a staple of the Silver Lake neighborhood, carrying handmade items from belts and bags to watches and even furniture. Danny has stayed true to his passion, producing a local product that he is proud to put his stamp on and call Dean. Meet Danny Dean Davis. So I understand that back in 1999, you were on the quest to find something that kind of inspired all this. Why don't you tell me about that?
Yeah, I was peering through a magazine. I saw something that I liked. It was a vintage kind of cuff. And at that time, there just really wasn't anything out there. And I've always been of the mind where I just sort of, if I don't find something I like, I can figure out, I'm resourceful. I can figure out a way to get it and make it, whatever. So I just sort of started looking around, got a few pieces of leather, and maybe short time after, I had a cuff, and people started asking about it, and that's how it got started.
So had you always been into making leather goods?
No, not necessarily. That was the first time I had actually really played with leather, but I had always been a tinkerer. I'd always made things. I had always loved the idea of turning a one-dimensional piece of material, whatever that was, wood or steel even, or anything, into a three-dimensional object.
So what were you doing prior to this quest for the cuff?
I was working for a company doing interior setups, opening new stores, a retail company. They required us to be resourceful. We had to sort of go into a space and build fixtures and, sort of solve problems. So I think that was a really good sort of segue into what I did in owning my own business.
So oftentimes it's a big step for people to make the leap from working for someone else, a company or another business, and striking out on their own. What inspired you to go out on your own?
It was a huge step, and it was difficult. It's always easy to, not easy, but it's always, it's the easier route to take to sort of just cash that paycheck. But, when you embark on your own thing, it's all unknown, right? I mean, it's just every day is sort of a new challenge. But I think just the idea, just the possibility is what made me, go forward.
So when you look back now at that possibility, and I'm sure along the way there were, obstacles that came up. Is there an obstacle that you can think of that would come up that you thought might stop you and you're able to push through?
Money. It's the first few years were, we'll just say, very, very lean. You really, it's in starting anything, it's not cheap to get started, and in building a brand and building your name and getting that recognition out there was difficult, especially back then. I mean, it was over a decade ago, and social media it didn't exist. It was word of mouth, it was magazines, it was that sort of thing that really got that got a name out there.
When you think back to those lean years, and you think back to when you had to make the decision to get up another day and show up for a Dean, what was it that kept you going?
That's a tough question. Stubbornness, I was just determined to make it work. I knew deep down that it would work. I've always had that in me. I don't know what it is. Nobody else in my family had been to college. And, I decided a long time ago that I wanted to get an education. And I decided where I wanted to go. And, even counselors were telling me, well, that's pretty ambitious. Maybe you should have a backup, And I was like, I don't need a backup. Like, I know what I want to do. And so, I worked hard and I applied myself and I got into that school that I wanted to go to. I knew it was going to be hard work, but I always knew that it could happen. And so I didn't know what Dean was going to look like, but I knew that it would work if I just persisted.
Did you have a plan when you started?
Business plan? Mm-hmm. No. No, I didn't. On paper, it was probably the worst business plan or decision ever made, because I did not have a business plan. I did not have even necessarily a background in business. I just sort of went by my gut.
What happens over time is we look at best practices in most industries, and then we package the process for people. And so many people go off down those paths to pursue it the way someone else did it,
right,
or said it should be done. And they meet failure along the way because they believe that it's a prescription. And I talk to many people about living their dreams. And not that I'm saying one shouldn't have a plan, but so many of them was about making a decision, having determination, following their gut and their instincts, and really moving forward. And then the plan kind of creates itself as you go.
So, yeah.
Was that your experience?
Absolutely. All those things sort of define themselves along the way.
So I want to ask you, if you weren't doing what you love now, what do you think life would be like for you?
Just dull, boring, uneventful, I don't think I would be the same person that I am, I don't think I would have the life I have. I don't think I would feel the way I do about just life in general. I wouldn't be happy. I did that, I worked for bigger companies, bigger corporations for a total of 8 years, and there were good times for sure, but ultimately deep down there wasn't what I wanted. No matter how much recognition I got for what I did, or promotion that I got, or whatever, it was nice. It was nice to get that recognition, but there was always something missing.
What advice would you give to someone watching that's considering stepping out on their dream?
Really think about it. Really think about everything that's involved, and really be honest with yourself about everything that's involved. I think a lot of people sort of, see the end game and they say, I want that, but you have to think about what it takes to get that. And it's not about the end game, really, in the end. That's what I've learned, because every day is still a challenge, Everybody says, oh, wow, you have this great store on Sunset Boulevard, and you have all this, it's beautiful, and I'm just relaxing, drinking Mai Tais on the beach on the weekends. You know what I mean? It's that's not the case. It's every single day working hard. And I'm okay with that. I love it, actually.
Do you consider yourself an artist?
I suppose. It's just depends what your definition of art is,
I consider an artist anyone that creates.
Okay, then I'm an artist.
So you've been in this business well over a decade. So I want you to envision this. You're walking down Sunset and you catch the glimpse of someone across the street carrying one of your bags. What does that feel like? It
feels good. It feels
today.
Good. Still today, sure. We always sort of stand behind our products. We have a lifetime warranty on everything. And this lady walked in, and she had this bag that, even I was like, maybe it's time to get a new one. She had this thing for over 10 years. She got it here when we first opened, she said, and she loves it. And so it's patched, and it's ripped and torn and sewed up and all kinds of things. It is beat. And I don't think I could give her a new bag. She wanted that bag, and she wanted me to fix that bag again, And so, it's funny, I laugh at it, but it's good. It makes me feel good, If you have a dream, follow it, but be honest about it, Be honest about what that dream is and what it's gonna take.
Thank you so much, Danny. I really appreciate it. And as a proud owner of a Dean bag myself, I'll tell you it's one of the best purchases I ever made. Check out Dean Accessories on Facebook or Instagram. Thank you for joining us on Passion in Action. I'm Antonio Lamons, the Passion Czar. Join us next time when we meet more Passionistas and Passionistos living their dreams. Be sure to like us, subscribe, and leave your comments below. We'll catch you next time.